The age of
Primaries
is over. The time of the
Firstborn
has come.
again.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So I want to say thank you to Terrorblades for making a little fun introduction just to ride, the memes at the moment that's been going on with this announcement of normal Marines getting 2 wounds. I think it's absolutely great. We're going to be talking about that more in depth in the video. We're going to be talking about some of the new stat sheets that are showing that Necrons now, or some of the units in the Necron army, are going Toughness 5, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And also the Redemptor Dreadnought new sheet as well, which is very, very interesting because it has some big changes on there. So let's jump in and let's get talking. Please enjoy the memes in the background. I've been seeing a number of these online, and also my Discord members have also been sending me these. Massive shout out, chaps. I really do appreciate it. There's some absolute crackers out there, so I thought I'd put a smile on your face as we go through all this information. Now, a couple of days have passed since we started to get the first stat sheets of the Vanguard veterans. They went up to wounds 2, and we were like, is it just because it's veterans they're really getting that buff up? But behold, GW put out an official article where they went into all information, and it actually says here all fully fledged Space Marines will be getting 2 wounds. That is across the board now. It goes into more information and says, stuff like from the battle company units such as Assault, Devastators and Tactical Marines to the Elite Terminators of the First Company, who have increased to wounds 3. That is about the Terminators. The Firstborn will be back to prove to their Primaris battle brothers their great worth. I've been seeing what does this mean for Primaris Marines. A lot of people are like, okay, that means no more Primaris Marines. What's the point in taking Primaris Marines when I can take my Tactical Marines? I can have more options when it comes to their guns, grav guns, heavy bolters, the multi-melters, the grav cannons, all that kind of stuff. I really don't think it means anything. I'll be completely fair with you. I think the Firstborn Marines getting this buff is deserved, only if that affects across other armies as well, which we'll get into in a second. But I really don't think it means anything at all. I think people are still going to be buying Space Marines, playing Space Marines. I think the biggest thing about this is that it validates a lot of people's armies now back on the tabletop, because since the Primaris Marines had the 2 wounds, it was like, well, it's worth it if I take Primaris Marines because it's better at holding objectives, they can survive more. Now these people who've got massed armies of Firstborn Marines, because they've been collecting it, since, I don't know, 3rd, 4th, 5th edition, etc. I've had this backlog of miniatures which they just don't see a purpose on the battlefield, and now they have a purpose back on that battlefield because they're up there with the Primaris Marines now. They can survive and stuff. So from that standpoint, that viewpoint, I think it's absolute fantastic news, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy as a Space Marine player as a whole. But, as I just mentioned, this will only make sense and it will only be fair if this applies to other armies. Now, the article does mention Rubric Marines and Plague Marines, we'll get into a second, but I think this has to apply to the Xenos factions as well. When you look at Orcs, what kind of unit in the Orc army now justifies getting an extra wound? The boys now get an extra wound. Do the Mega Knobs now get an extra wound? Do they get extra toughness? What happens now to balance this out? That goes the same with the Eldar, the Dark Eldar, the Tyranids, the Genestealer Cultists, all these armies. What does that mean for them? We know what it means for the Spiky Boys, aka, Chaos Space Marines, because this basically 2 wounds is got to just go straight over to them, because it mentions it here. Just think how durable it will make units like the Rubric Marines or Plague Marines. That's what it states in the article, and we've been talking about some of the rumours for the past couple of days about Rubric Marines going to 2 wounds. They have a 3-up save and a 5++, if I'm not mistaken. Plague Marines, well, they're disgusting resilient. It's really, I personally think, going to make Chaos maybe a more powerful faction, if not one of the most powerful factions on the tabletop. Of course, when it comes to stuff like that, the tournaments really decide that, and who is top tier at the moment when it comes to it. And we haven't really had a lot of tournaments due to the crisis that's going on in the world at the moment. Now, the article goes into more information about melter weapons, flamer weapons, as we mentioned, going to 12 inches. An interesting thing about it says supersize your heavy bolter with now added explosive depth. So it says the upscale bolt weapons are set to become damage 2, as it befits the unmitigated brutality of being hit by a hail of armored-piercing, mass-reactive shells the size of tin cans. That is absolutely fantastic news for me as an Imperial Fist player, because it means I bring more bolters in my army. It does more damage. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So I am hugely in favour of some of the changes that I'm reading on here. Now, some of the information I've been sent with some of the new packaging details. So we're going to start with death marks first. So as you can see here, some of the new stuff. But the main thing that stands out, Toughness 5. Toughness 5 death marks. I like that. I think Necrons should be extremely tough to kill because they're bloody robots with big guns and technology which completely dwarfs the Imperium and all the weird stuff that actually goes along with that. If we look at the next one, the Immortals as well, they are now Toughness 5, which again, I think is absolutely great. Is this going to apply to more of the Necron units? So we're going to see just basically Necrons as a whole be Toughness 5. They've only got the 1 wound, but they're giving up the 1 wound and adding more toughness to the army, so maybe they have more survivability when it comes to wounding them, but when you do wound them, they do actually go down. Well, they do go down, and then you can reanimate them and bring them back up, because that's how Necrons work. Now, on to the Redemptor Dreadnought, because I was sent this as well. There's so many stat sheets that are coming out now. I wouldn't be surprised that if you're watching this video today on launch, that even more stat sheets are going to come out. Maybe I'll do even more videos dedicated to them. It just depends how many come out. I don't want to be doing a video for one single one. I'd rather group them up as much as I can and actually do a video. But the Redemptor, the weapon changes on this, I personally think is doing some fantastic stuff. I'm liking the look of the Redemptor more, and I've been saying now since 9th edition has been officially released, let's say, is that invest in Dreadnoughts. The -1 on Dreadnoughts moving and then firing is gone. You should be investing all your stonks into Dreadnoughts now. Anyway, let's just move on and talk about these new stat changes, because I'm absolutely loving them. So when it comes to the Onslaught Gatling cannons actually on the unit now of the Redemptor Dreadnought, you can equip the big one, and you can also have the little underslung one. So let's start with the heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon, the big dagger gun. Now, it's still heavy 12, but the strength of this has changed from strength 5 to strength 6. I love it. Absolutely love it. More strength means it gives me a better chance of, getting through and inflicting more damage on the target. The -AP1 and the damage one is completely the same. Now, what's happened with the Onslaught Gatling cannon? This is not the heavy one. This is like the little underslung one you can equip on the fist. It was heavy 6 shots. That has changed now to heavy 8 shots. It hasn't changed the strength. The strength is still 5, and it's still, AP -1 and damage is 1, which I'm not too sure how that works. Maybe because, the main one is a heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon, and this is just not a heavy one, and it's a small one, but they still shoot heavy rounds. So I'm a bit confused how that works, but what I do know is that the Onslaught Gatling cannon, the underslung one on the little fist, gets 2 extra shots, and the big one now is strength 6. So bring all the dagger against your enemies. And on the subject of underslung weapons, let's just go with the flamer as well. So this is number 2, and this is kind of confusing because the range on this is 8 inches. Even though GW has just put the article out, well, I say put the article out, they put the article the other day saying flamers are going to 12 inches. So I'm not sure if this is a typo or not, because I know there's a lot of talk at the moment of the actual Space Marine, sorry, not Space Marine, the Redemptor Power Fist as well. Now, in Melee, it used to be Strength ×2, which is absolutely fantastic. So it used to be Strength 14, so you're just laughing at anything. You're more or less getting through anything on the tabletop, and it used to be D6 damage, but now it's changed on this stat sheet to, it's still strength ×2, it's still AP -3, but the damage you do is +3. That's what it actually states on the sheet, +3. Now, I'm not sure if that's a flat 3 damage. Is that D6 +3 extra damage? I'm not too sure what that means. I'm probably going to say that it means a flat 3 damage. So I think it can be counted as a slight nerf on the Redemptor Power Fist. Again, it's all down to like averages when you roll a D6. I'm sure there's a math guy out there who's going to work all that out. But yeah, I'm still confused on that. I'm personally just saying it's going to be a flat 3 damage. And one more thing is the heavy plasma Incinerator. It's basically the big plasma cannon you can put on your Redemptor Dreadnought instead of the heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon. Now, the standard profile on this, which is, the 8th edition one, was range 36, heavy d6, strength was 8, AP -4, and damage is 1. The supercharged profile was, of course, range 36, heavy d6, strength was 9, AP -4, and the damage was 2. But on this stat sheet, number 5, it's 36, d6 damage, strength 8, AP -4, and damage 2. So it's got the standard profile, but instead of having 1 damage, it has 2 damage. So does this mean that the macro plasma is going up to a minimum of 2 damage, and then the supercharge will probably get the extra damage? So the supercharge will probably be 3, but the standard shot is going to be 2. I'm not too sure if that maybe be a typo or something, but it is a very, very interesting thing when you come to think of stuff like Hellblasters. Does that mean if you're shooting your like heavy Hellblasters and stuff, are they going to get like a normal standard profile now, even without overcharging, of a damage 2? Because I absolutely love the sound of that. That will give me an excuse to take more of the Hellblasters in my army lists. Right, that's enough waffling for me. These are some of the stat sheets that I thought would be pretty cool to show off and talk about. I'm sure there's going to be more coming in today, over the next couple of days, over the next weeks, months, everything like that. It's going to be interesting to see how these all changes affect every army, every unit, everything that's on the tabletop, because it looks like it's going to be massive changes. I'm actually taken back on how many changes is going on at the moment. This is some absolute massive stuff. We're only seeing the tip of the iceberg here with the Space Marine stuff. There's so much more to come, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Anyway, enough waffling for me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts, feedback, everything like that down below, and we'll have a nice little chat down there as we always do. See you now. Have a great day, and bye-bye.